Hello, guys. Welcome back to another video. This is the Football Connect. I'm your host, Sam, and we are back again with another one. So, we're going to be talking about the biggest breaking news of the day, what is happening, and everything that you need to be caught up with. And today, people, I have a visitor with me today. You might not see him here because there is an Isak image just closing here right now there. But I have somebody who's a co-host to me today. So if she's gonna make some comments, I understand that I have somebody that I'm working with here, people. So anyway, let's get into the video today. So today the breaking news is Alex Isak, or should I say Alexandra Isak, has told Newcastle that he wants to leave and he wants to go. Try by means to do some things, maybe just try by means to see what he can do elsewhere away from the club. What is happening in this deal is this. This has been something that has been happening for some time because Liverpool have been working so hard to get Isak to move to Liverpool. Of course, Newcastle tried to play chess by trying to come after Hugo Ekitike, which is something that I understand. But also, that also on itself actually forced the Liverpool to move fast on Hugo Ekitike, get the deal done. We saw the player being announced today at Liverpool, and more on that, of course, on the on the Football Connect LFC channel. So you should go check it out because that's where I'll be going exactly to give a more depth or an in-depth look on how things are standing right now on the Liverpool perspective. But I'm going to be talking on the Newcastle side because that's exactly what people are really interested in. Because earlier in the morning, we had a rumor that when the Newcastle team was leaving to go to Singapore, where they're going to be having their preseason tour, we were told that, oh, Newcastle is not actually traveling there because he has is it a muscle tightness or something like that? And after we were told about that muscle tightness, it was very interesting because as soon after that, Ben Jacob came out live and he said that the thing is this muscle tightness was confirmed by the doctor that it's clear there's really nothing really on that. So it's possibly that maybe he can travel. But somehow we did not go. And I always ask questions like this, which is really important whenever you're doing in this business. He is one of the best, or in fact, he is Newcastle's best player. And of course, they are trying by means to go to certain countries to make fan bases, to create fan bases. And of course, you'd expect them to bring out their biggest stars to go there and create fan bases. So why didn't they not include Isak into this tour? Question of the day. And then now that makes us want to go back to that Eddie Howe statement that he put out exactly after Newcastle were thrashed by Celtic by 4 goals to 0, if I'm not mistaken. And he said that the reason why Isak did not participate in that game is because of the transfer news that has been surrounding him, and the manager felt like he needed to go to have some clear headspace and mix and just been there. It was his decision, and he made it so clear. So it looks like whatever maybe the manager asked him to do and maybe work on that, he has come back and said, "Oh, I think it's time for me to move." And it is really, really crazy because nobody saw this coming, to be honest. Nobody really saw this coming because he was meant to be participating. Like I told you, I have a co-host here. He was meant to be participating with the team, and this preseason tour, this is where the manager comes up with ideas and plans on how they are going to approach the new season, and they want their best players involved. Even Isak was injured. He should have been also one of the players in the tour because whatever the manager is going to be sharing there, whatever the team is going to be learning there, it will also take part in helping the team. Also, Isak, so that whenever he's fit, he can be caught on what the instructions the managers are asking for. And yet he did not go to Asia. Now later on we get the one from not any other person, but I think a Newcastle-based journalist coming out and he's saying that Alexander Isak has asked Newcastle that he wants to leave the club and go try to potentially express what he can do elsewhere. And now that this makes things even interesting because before even coming to where we are, there were reports we were told that there isn't a potential where Isak could go to Saudi Arabia. And when they're looking at it, the Newcastle fans, they feel like that is a better option rather than him being in the Premier League. But we are also being told that he's also interested in, and that's really very important, he's also interested in making sure that he gets his best in the age where he is to play in the highest competition he can ever be. Of course, we know that all these things started because of what Liverpool did. Liverpool approached. They did not go in the wrong way. They approached Newcastle for him, and that's when all these things happened. But the question was this: we always kept on repeating this, that Alexander Isak will never do this. Alexander Isak will never maybe ask to leave. He's not that kind of a player. So what could have happened to force him to come out and ask it that he wants to leave? What has changed? Is it the way Newcastle handled the teams that were interested in Isak? Or maybe the rumor, the 300K a week that he was demanding from Newcastle, in which they cannot be able to provide? Or was this Newcastle already trying to work in creating angles so that they can cover up what was going to happen, which is the potential of them losing their biggest star? This is a way that you should be looking at this transfer in broader, that maybe the 300K a week came out because of the fact that the things are standing right now. Or maybe that also explains the situation in which that they also put out information saying that Hugo Egetic is earning around some close to 300 and something, not because it's the truth, but also because they are trying to create a reason that maybe Egetic chose Liverpool for money rather than to be with Newcastle. There have been things that have been happening in the past week in the transfer window that you really want to question, this really journalists to be trusted? Where are they getting this information and what's happening? And on the Isak deal, the Al Halish story came out. It did not stick. The fan bases did not buy into it. And also on top of that, it continued with him demanding more money that they can actually afford. Nobody really went into this. And of course, they were working on a new contract. So maybe we might try to believe that one. But when you look at how things are standing right now, when you look at how things actually are looking at right now, the way things are standing right now, it's really, really funny because things have gone outside of what it was supposed to be. So this makes things really, really interesting when you are looking at from the outside. But on an honest situation, Isak wants to leave Newcastle. And if Newcastle had played the hardball the first time, they could have managed to get Hugo Egetic in this deal where Liverpool go get Isak, because Isak wanted to leave. They just did not expect Isak would come to a point of actually putting a transfer request that he wants to move out of the club. Asking the club to that he wants to leave is literally putting a transfer request. That's the same situation which we are dealing with Luis Diaz. He has put on a transfer request. So we are in a situation that we are going to have to sell Luis Diaz to Bayern Munich because he wants to leave. That's the same situation that Newcastle find themselves in, because Isak has put on a transfer request and he's saying that he wants to leave the club. He wants to go try to play his football elsewhere because he wants to try something new. He is, of course, Newcastle's club legend of recent years. He helped them to win their first trophies over 70 years. So I understand the sentimental value that is in this situation. I also understand what the Newcastle fans are feeling, looking at how the situation and how things are turning up. And it does make sense that it is never going to be easy, but that's why it is football. You have to understand that things can also go into this position, and the the better you accept it, the sooner you accept it, the better and how it can work for your team. So let's see how this one plays on. Of course, there's a potential of him going to Saudi because there are Saudi clubs that are interested in getting him. I get that, and I'm not going to deny that this could happen. And also, there is a potential of him as well joining a potential club in England, which is that club. Of course, it is my club, Liverpool, in which I'm gonna go in depth with it on the Liverpool channel, on the LFC channel. So you should go check it out. Let's see how this one plays out. Where do you see him going? There has been clubs which have been mentioned. We've been told of Chelsea maybe going up for him, Arsenal maybe going up for him. But at this moment, what Fabrizio Romano has confirmed is that the only club that is really going to be working on the Isak deal is Liverpool. It's not coming as a surprise, according to Ben Jacobs, because Liverpool have been prepared and been ready for this deal. So it's going to be interesting to see how this one plays out like. But at this moment, that's where things stands. Newcastle, Alexander Isak wants to leave the club, and the only club that is interested in getting him is Liverpool. So let's see how this situation plays out and what's going to happen next. But at this moment, people, You need to buckle up because things are moving pretty fast. It's gonna be an exciting time. So thank you very much for watching. I've been your host Sam, and I'll see you on another one. Click the like button, subscribe to the content. Where will Alexander Isak end up next? I'm curious to hear that story. I'm out. Peace. Subscribe to the content.